Let's wait for the people to join up in this live, and then we can have this live. So today is all about the Venus. It's all about love and appreciation. So if it's about love and appreciation, then how about we do some dream interpretation? So if you have that one dream that you have and you are thinking, oh my God, like this dream, I cannot understand it, like what kind of theme is this dream, or what is this dream trying to tell me? I've had this dream occurring a few couple of times, and you know what I'm saying. So let's do that, love and appreciation. But then this is the thing, these are the rules. When you are asking the dream, your dream, when you are typing, type in as many details as you can remember. Where were you? Whom were you with? What were you doing? What was the feeling? Then we go with that. Ni sawa sawa. Shout out to everyone in the comments. Each one, Jega. Now, mind you, so we'll talk about the river. So yesterday we had a conversation with, I had a conversation with another esoteric brother. You know, sometimes you have to talk to people who are on the same wavelength. You know, like there's no coincidence, even you being on this live. If you understand about frequency, like there's no coincidence for you being on this live. So you may not even get it now, but there's no coincidence on you being on this live. So just you connecting to me and me connecting to whichever other spirits are next to me, okay, that's a soul group. That's a high vibrational whole world. So yes, you're in this world, but you're not of this world. You're of that world I'm talking about. But in that world, there's also hierarchy. There's also like terms and conditions. There's also like high priests, high priestesses. There's kings. There's queens. There's what you can say. There's wizards. There's witches. So there's rankings. There are kings, okay, and queens. And kings and queens run a particular thing. Then there's the priestess, the high priestess, and the high priest. That in itself is another frequency, is another world. Then there's the goddess and a god. That's another whole frequency. So you're on those frequencies. Okay, now where you fall, hiyo ni yako. Now, so Adu makawen soke roe mukaro. Soke roe mukaro. Roe ni rusoke mukaro. No to tigi soke roe mukaro. Wabere, mukaro ti horoi. Roe ni roe. But that's not the point. So now, you have to understand the reason kile toge kile aso matuti gaso roe mukaro ni riri. Todo roe ti mai. Roe ti mai. The river is not the water. Okay? There's a river here. The water doesn't mean that because there's water, this is what makes the river the river. No. Roeti mai. The river is not water. Because inside the water that you're calling the river, people have been pissing in that water. Kuna watu wamekojoa. Kuna watu wamekunia. Kuna watu wamedhuguma. Kuna oil huko. Kuna mtu alikuwa anaosha, anaspray mahali cabbages. Akakuja akaosha hiyo pump kwa hiyo maji. Okay, but they are all flowing. So the river is not water, because what flows, what you're calling the river, what is flowing is not water. It's a contaminated, it's something that can have everything. Iko na sewage, watu wa Nairobi wameweka sewage, Jenga Mudhaka ameikojorea, wewe mwingine ametupa kondom huko ndani, mwingine ametuma pad zake huko ndani, mwingine ametupa mtopo huko ndani, imeenda imepita. So roe timai kogo mukiwa tusokie roe mukaro timai turasokia mukaro todo mai mena a lot of impurities. The water, what you call the river, has got a lot of impurities. So that's not the river. Okay, what you have, what you're calling mai in the river, roweti mai, what you're calling mai in the river, ne indo ciũnganĩte. Indo ciũnganĩte, a collection of things from different places. There is oil in the water. But when that oil goes to wherever it's supposed to be going, everything goes back to where it came from. So the oil will go where oil comes from. Plastic will recycle itself and go where plastic comes from. You get what I'm saying? AKA, to each its own. To each its own. Okay? Let's see if there is anyone who has got the guts enough to be the first one to ask. So no one is asking. Shout out to Mwariwa Dinona Vega for the ice cream. Shout out for the ice cream. Shout out for what I don't know this, but there's something else. Shout out to all the gifts that are coming through. So Roe Timai. So to carry Horoane to so Roe Mukaro, we have to be mindful because words are powerful. What are we actually saying? Toreda kunia Roe Timai. Maema magarete roe timoroe. Asa, roe ni roe. To each its own, aka, gutire gitatuirie kiria kingi. You are following? Gutire gitatuirie kiria kingi. AKA, everything you see, everything that you are engaging with, negituirie kiria kingi. So, plants have meaning. Now you're talking about the elements, okay? But this is not an elements video. So, to watch the elements. So, for example, the river or the whatever has got oil. Ile oil yote mnamwaganga girogoni, mnamwaganga kwa mechanic, mnamwaga oil, kila mtu anamwaga oil. So, hiyo oil yote, what does oil do when you pour it on water? Oil floats. Oil floats. So, where there is oil, zile countries ziko na mafuta sana, hizo ndizo ziko juu. Those are the Arabic countries. Okay? Si juzi tulitoka Mount Kenya nikawaambia muache kurigurgitate. You know you regurgitate. Kinyumesikia iko kwa kitabu ilisemwa, but it's not the truth, but it's what it's relating. Sindio? Tulitoka Mount Kenya tukasema Mount Kenya is not even the Kui Mountains. Sindionyesha why? Si tulikumbuka tukasema kama mulisema you came from the mountains, the highest point, then Mount Kenya is not the highest point. So it turned, always look to the west, to the setting, because that's the new day. The rising has already happened. When you are seeing a dawn, a rising, it has already happened. You are seeing the death. The rising is the death, is the death part, is the physical. It's now for you to experience the death, the physical. So looking west, Uriel, the angel that rises from the west during set, when all the other angels are falling. So that will be in the Bible, that will be Uriel, that would be what do we call those books in the Bible now? The name is Enoch, the book of Enoch, west. So now, the Kikuyus came from Kilimanjaro, aka Kilimanjaro, Kilimakirejaro, Kilimakenajaro, Jaro, okay? However, they didn't even come from Kilimanjaro. So you see, it's trickling down. It's trickling down. Na nimekuuliza swali rahisi sana. Wewe ukiweka mafuta kwa chupa, natakanga mtumie common sense. Ukiweka mafuta kwa chupa, uweke mafuta, uweke olive oil, uweke whichever cooking oil unaweka. Does the oil float? The oil floats, right? So where the oil floats, that's up. Right? That will be up. The oil will float up. The most less dense, the most up, right? So where do we find oil? the Arab countries. That is why we find Mount Everest. So from up Mount Everest, water has to go where? Water has to go down. Water has to travel down. Right? Water goes down. So tumesema oil ni up, Arab countries, Mount Everest, that's up because oil floats, right? Water goes down. Sindio? Water goes down. So where does water go? If you look at the flow of water in the world, where does water flow? And remember we said the river is not the water. But where does water go? So water goes down. Water goes down. Remember we said the river is not the water. Water goes down. So where is down? Northeastern. Where is northeastern? The Great Rift Valley. Where the Great Rift Valley? Because from there we have the freshwater lake, Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria, water going down, water is fresh. Lake Victoria, water going down, Lake Victoria, the biggest freshwater lake. You don't even know why Kenya is so important. Northeastern is most down. Watu wa Kisumu, Lake Victoria. Okay? The Great Rift Valley. So from Lake Victoria, the river flows where? To Egypt. Now it's flowing down to Egypt. Not high, as in high, but down. The water now is flowing down to Egypt because this is fresh water, lake, fresh water. This is now water. Not river. Water now. Water goes down. So the water now is going down to Egypt. Because water, my Medea Maria. Water is under the oceans. That is why when you go to the ocean, you can find a river under the ocean. That is why inside the oceans, you can find a lake inside the ocean. You can find a waterfall inside the ocean because now that's water. You see the difference? Now that's water now. And the ocean is runoff. So for example, when it rains outside your home, munasemanga kwena Maria, small oceans, kwena Maria, the great Indian Ocean. So kwenyu ni runoff. So when that runoff follows the river, that's not the river, that's the runoff. When that runoff follows the river, so that you understand what the river represents, when that runoff follows the river to the ocean, the great Indian Ocean, Maria Magi. So that's not down. So Indian Ocean is not down. That's just runoff. Water travels down. That's why in the ocean, you can find water at the bottom of the ocean. Lakes, rivers. Because now that's water. But this other, ni Maria, aka a collection of other things. There is peace there. People have been flushing their toilets. It's in that sea. Okay? There is contaminations. There is, everything is in that water. Kogoro etimai. Are we clear now? Now, so we have said that so water oil floats, so that's the Arabic countries, sindio? So these are above sea level. So the Arabic countries are above sea levels. You get? Sea levels. Kisumu iko chini ya Mombasa. You get it? So tukianza calculating from sea level, 0 degrees. 0 degrees sea level. Ndio tunaanza. The dry lands, the valleys, the Middle East, they have very deep valleys. Mediterranean Sea, deep levels. So the Indian Ocean is runoff, ni Maria. Okay? Now let's see if the questions have started coming. We said this is a Q&A. Tulisema leo ni Q&A. Tukasema if you have any question, if you have any dream interpretation that you want done tukiendanga. So I'm saying Shioneki. Sietago Shioneki. About water being the element and the talking about Roe. So esoterically the word bank yani bengi is from riverbanks. Yep. Yes. Yep. No question. So we said it's a Q&A, so I don't even know why you're not asking questions, bana. We said it's a Q&A. Sasa nyinyi mnatakanga tu mnataka tu mkae tu hapo tu ni kwa hapo. So ulizeni maswali ama hata nyinyi muongee ai. Si hata nyinyi mu request. When I tell you to ask questions, you don't ask questions. I tell you to interact, you don't interact. Now when I want to kick game, now you want to ask questions. Now you want to interrupt. I once had a dream. A crocodile came out of water and bit me, and I felt pain. What does it mean? Shout out to the Acosta designer in the house. That's not important. So I said, when you're asking your dream, you add more details. I once had a dream. Where were you? Maybe you were camped at Crocodile Mamba Village. Maybe you had visited Mamba Village that day. So now when you went home, you are dreaming with crocodiles. So that's why I said it has to be a dream that's, not this kind of dream where maybe you open a magazine, saw a crocodile, YouTube, you didn't even register your subconscious. You are going through the Go TV, you saw some Animal Kingdom. Now, because what is a crocodile? It's a reptilian. What's a reptilian? A low vibrating being. Below the horizon. So this is things that can go into the dark. Reptiles, geckos, lizards, crocodiles, aka even if they're not going through cracks, they are going underwater. They can hide. They can swim unseen. They can surprise you. They can see through the dark. So the dark would be your lower natures. Okay, your demiurges, lost in your desires na vitu za kama hizo. Okay, so if that means that in one of your keyword dream, kioneki, because you cannot remember your dream, so what you are interpreting is not actually your dream, but these are like your visions, your mind's eye, what your mind was seeing. Because you see, the mind's eye is visions. What you can visualize is what the mind sees, not what you can perceive, aka receive as see. You get it? Yeah, so if you had added more details, maybe you'd have seen the correspondence to whatever, but that is just you being lost in... So one of your desires, which was some backstabbing energy, okay, so this could have been backstabbing energy. This could have been someone who stabs you in the back. Okay, so this could have been someone who was very close to your family member or a close associate betraying you, so stabbing you in the back. So that's surprising. That's the same way when you're watching those documentaries, an antelope will be going to the river and the crocodile surprises the antelope and drags it into the water. You get what I'm saying? So that kind of energy, that kind of you didn't see it coming, that kind of something grabbing onto you and twisting until it takes a piece. Like once that bite gets you, it doesn't let go, it has to go. You get what I'm saying? Go and watch The Great Crossing. You are going to understand that kind of energy. But in this position, you are the one who got beat. You are the one who was the wild beast. So you are the one who was doing the Great Crossing in the Mara. So think about the risks. But you are the one who got caught. So with your collective consciousness, you're the one who became the victim. Okay? So do some shadow work and find out what is that thing. Why do some dreams feel so real to the point where you wake up the brink of death? That's not a question. That one you can ask Google. Don't just ask questions for the sake of asking questions. Because nimekuambia, today is love and appreciation. So if you have that dream that gives you shit, we can talk about it. But for these jokers, that's just for joking. That one you can ask Google. That's not even a question. Why do some dreams feel like they are? Ask Google that. Okay? No one is even asking a question. No one is even asking, so where does the water come from? So no one is even now going to ask, okay, you have said that Roeti Mai, and you have showed us that there is water. So no one is going to ask where water comes from. Ama it rains. What rains is not water. Okay? What you call rain is not actually not water. That's why it's called rain water. That's not... You can get water from rain, but what rains is not actually water. That's why it's called rainwater. Otherwise, there wouldn't be that rain water. So are you telling us there's water from rain and there's other waters? Okay? Anyway, meaning pengine hiyo ni story ya siku ingine, you're not ready for that. Dream of going back to primary school yet finished long time ago. So every time you dream about a school, so what does a school represent? A school represents thought forms. Okay? Masculine. You are going to learn. So when you go to a school, there's a lot of internalization. So you are going to absorb. You'll be a lot in your feminine because you are accepting. It's going within. But as it's going within because you are losing something, right? So when you have a dream of you being in school, that's a feminine dream because you are going within. Okay? So the dream of going back to school means it's the dream of you going back within, like you are going into your emotions. So that day, now in future, you can remember every time you have a dream where you are around a school, an institution, university, or a college. That's what it means. When you have a dream where, like in a shopping mall, you are externalizing, you are buying, you are going from this shop to another. That's masculine. Okay? So shout out to Sundiata Mwaura. Shout out to Mwaura Sundiata. Big Aquarius energy in the house. You know what I'm saying? Ni sawa. So now, we have said, tutigecokia roe mukaro, tondu roe ti mai. Roe ti mai. So it has to make sense. Because now, when we are saying tucokie roe mukaro, andu mareciria we are taking the flow that is flowing down the river is what we are bringing back. but rũĩ ti maĩ. Tondũ kiu tureta maĩ kiragera rũĩ no ikorwo na mathugumo, no ikorwo na sewage, no ikorwo na oiro, no ikorwo na contamination, no ikorwo na DDT, he mundu thambirie ma chemicals, he mundu tahikire, he mundu meire kuu. So rũĩ ti maĩ, rũĩ na sewage. So rũĩ ti maĩ. Okay? Koguo giki tureta maĩ kigerete rũĩ ni indo ciũnganĩte. My peace, Mwaura's peace. Someone amepika chang'aa iko hapo Nairobi River. So rũĩ ti maĩ. Totuga maĩ mathiaga kũ? Maĩ mathiaga thĩ. Oceans are up. Oceans ni runoff from rains. Maĩ mathiaga thĩ. Tuga maĩ mathiaga thĩ kũ? Why does water go down? Water goes down where? Northeastern. The Great Rift Valley. That is why when they discovered water here, they said that in the northeastern we have the biggest freshwater lakes. No one understood what they are saying. Amukushika venye mulikuwa muna, because that is what they want to sell you. You'll be sold your own water. The intention is to sell my northeastern. Nikyo matagetekera peace kou. There can never be peace in northeastern. Northeastern is the most down and water goes down. Lake Victoria, the Great Rift Valley. Na wakakwambia Northeastern has the biggest freshwater reserves in the world. You didn't get it because Northeastern ndio iko na maji. But they tell you, the future wars will be fought over water. Now you are distracted. You're always distracted, Africans. You're always distracted with the wrong wars. Instead of your war being spiritual, it's instead of an understanding, wait a minute. We have to create a community where the people are aware of what we are up against, like what we are really up against, so that we can be on those bargaining tables. So you want to buy water, it's okay, but we have to be on those tables when we are discussing that water. We have to be on the tables so that we can protect the water, so that we understand the spiritual meaning system of that water, so that we can protect it spiritually, so that the terms and conditions, aka the treaties that you have always been signing in Africans, can be fair to Mother Nature, Gaia. Them, they have the oil. I told you, when you pour oil in a container, it floats. So Arab is up. That's why they don't have water. Because they are above sea level. Arab land. That's why they have oil. That is even why they discover oil there. Because they are up. We are down. Where the water is. And water is the future. And they tell you, Northeastern has the greatest water. And nimekuonyesha how. Water flows down. So water will flow to Lake Victoria, the Great Rift Valley. Northeastern is down. Because freshwater lake is water. Oceans, we have runoff water. That is what goes to the ocean. Because that's not water. That's contamination of everything. Your piss, oil, garbage, anything that you can mix and mingle is what goes to the ocean. That's why it's salty and dirty. It's an accumulation of what you call, that's not water. That's an ocean. Water goes down. But inside the ocean, there's water. That is why in the ocean, you are going to find water because water is down. So water will be holding the ocean. Maria, runoff. Ndio mnenao kuchezea na meli zenyu, na hiyo bugi zenyu, nonsense. But when you go deeper now, you find the water. That's why in oceans you find rivers and waterfalls. Uko ndani unakuta there's a river. You're like, wait a minute. We have a river flowing at the bottom of the lake. Yes, because that's water flowing now. That's water flowing. Now, that's a river flowing now. That's water. This other one is not water. It's ocean. Accumulation of other things that flow down what you call a river. The river is not water. That flowing is not water. That's not the river. That's where the water is flowing. So we call that river bed. So what's a river? That's the question. And if Middle East is up, that is why they have oil. And where it's deep, Mediterranean Sea, deep, we find water. So where is this water coming from? Where is this mist that does not want to mix with salt? It's a freshwater lake. Where is this mist that does not want to mix with salt coming from? Now, you're talking about the mystics now. Now you're no longer talking about the... Now we're in the natural mystic. There's the natural mystic flowing through the air. Dum. Now we are there now. So where is this mist coming from? Because in the ocean, we have the dust, the runoff. So the ocean contains the dust. The dust. So where is the mist? The mist is in the sea, Mediterranean Sea. We have the mist. Deep and dark and mysterious. Mist, you can see. The dust goes to the ocean. The dust is the opposite of mist. Now, when the earth breathes, when Tiamat Gaia, earth, the dragon, when she breathes, the being you are on, what you are walking on, the physical part, when earth breathes, everything is contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion, dimness and brightness, dimness and brightness. So there's nothing like black and white. That's made up. We made that up. There's nothing like up or down. That is us. We made it up. When you are going up, you are optimistic. When you are going down, you are depressed. That is what it means. It's only internal, external. As within, so without. As above, so below. All these other laws are logic man-made. Some people sat down and created that as a language to benefit from that. Whether it's education and all these other drama. Okay? But know that there's other ways you can do that besides that. Besides logic. Besides the left brain, you have two brains. You also have the right brain. Hakuna mtu amekuzuia kutumia the right brain, aka you can use your intuition and your clairvoyance and all those other senses that you have never thought of exercising. Those are your minds. Those are your different brains. Those are your different sides to your chakras. Nisa. Now, when Tiamat Earth Gaia breathes, whether you want to call it contraction, whether you want to call it breathe, whether you want to say she goes within, whatever you want to say, when she breathes, whatever you want to call it, whatever that motion is, okay? She releases mist. The same way when you breathe out, when you breathe in, when you breathe out, you release mist. If I hold a mirror, I can see the waters now. So those are the waters I'm asking you. Where does that water come from? That's where we are. So when Mother Earth, when she breathes out, or when she sweats, because this is sweating, that's sweating. That's all the interchange chemical, whatever has happened. This is the respiration. This is the sweating. So when Mother Earth sweats out, or she breathes out, she has her points where she does this. Mount Kenya is one of the points. Nikomogera ira. Negogera ira, asiana ira. Ira is these beings. Ira. Ira muhakago. It's not chalk. It's these beings. Ha. What comes out mehomo yayo. Okay? Ne mehomo yake. So that mist, aka, there's a Kikuyu name. Munga ni ahete ritwa riu ritagwo Munga ni ahete ritwa riu ria Gikuyu ritagwo damn it, it's not coming. So think about it like this. When you have a piece of rock in your bathroom and you have water, that's stagnation. So ihiga riu niriumagia white, thithino yo ihiga iyo venye iyo mawe inatoanga kitu ya white, unamata mahali kuna maji imesimama. So the rocks kind of like kitu ya white inatokanga. Nyi unaonanga kama ni kama mold. That's what I'm talking about, that white stuff. There's a Kikuyu name for that white stuff. Iyo niyo etagwo thithino. So iyo niyo kirimaine ira. That's almost the same example of ira kirimaine. So when she breathes out Mount Kenya, that's why you can fly. That's why they say you cannot fly on top of Mount Kenya. Watu wanajua vitu mingi sana kuwaliko na nyinyi mnashinda kusema mlima ni yenyu. There's a reason there's no fly zone over Mount Kenya, and there are specific times when that mountain is breathing. You can fly there. That is why when you see the mountain and close the she's breathing out. When you can see Mount Kenya clearly from Nairobi, today Mount Kenya was visible, understand that the world is breathing in. She's taking in. That's why you can see Mount Kenya. It's clear. You can summit the mountains. You can summit them. Your nose is very high also. So when the mountain is breathing out, that's when you can see Mount Kenya. That's why you can see these mountains. And that is where now you get ira. That breath. I've given you an example. When a stone has got water, when it's leaking, it grows those white stuff. That is what in Mount Kenya you go and you call ira, which is the breath of the being that we are in, or its mist. Now, let's say you are training, okay? You are running, I'm on your ass, okay? We are doing personal training, I'm on your ass, I'm like, left, light, left, light, left, light, left, light, left, light, left, light. You're moving. Step. Let's say we are in the gym, okay? You're doing your bicep curls. I'm like, give me 2 more. You're like, 1, 2, 3 more. 1, 2. Come on, give me 2 more. 1, 2. So let's say you are sweating in the gym. When you are sweating in the gym, you sweat. But when you sweat, what happens? You can taste your sweat. It's salty, but the water flows down. When you are sweating, it's the water that flows down. The salt is stuck on your body. Iyo chumvi yendangi na iyo maji chini. No matter how much you sweat, that sweat leaves you tasting like salt for you to go and take a shower, but the water that flows without salt. Because it's your breath, it's your respiration. That is why Lake Victoria, the greatest waters in the... Nimewambia ni wapi? Simejua ni wapi? Unajua saa zingine sipo wa kuambia watu vitu zingine. Northeastern, the greatest water reserves, waliwaambia kwa news. In the Northeastern, we have the greatest collection of water in the world, fresh water, Northeastern. So when you sweat, water flows down. Water. So even when the mountain sweats, the water flows down, but leaves the salt up for the gods. Kama nyinyi mudhimu washo nemo onyo. You see, now you cook your salt. You're not supposed to cook your salt. You're not supposed to eat salt every day. You're supposed to lick salt like animals. Animals they lick salt once in a while. Sometimes you're going to see mountain goats. What are they doing? They are going for their annual salt lick. Where are the elephants? This time they go to lick salt here. Where are the wild beasts? They have moved to Tanzania because that is where they lick their salt. Where is this animal? It is licking. It is eating that soil. Why is that donkey taking away the grass? The donkey is taking away the grass, tearing the grass roots because there is salt there. Because you are supposed to lick salt. Not supposed to eat salt every day. Hiyo muliletewa. Hiyo ni vita ingine tutaongea about it. That's another GMO. The same way the GMO do with wine and bread, aka yeast. Now you are imbalanced. Your emotions are imbalanced. You have emotional imbalances. Women are fucked up because of yeast in bread. And that is why they made it so popular. Brew Band every day, but you don't know where this came from. Brew Band every day. Breakfast, Brew Band, and tea. Now they have advanced. They went into they always upgrade. So they went into shit. What do we call this thing? These are the breakfast, not Kellogg's. They went into Weetabix for starch, and what is this other? What do you call it? I love it. Oats and oats. Now even people are like, oats is healthy. Oats. We'll talk about oats another day, but I take oats, okay? I take oats. I told you I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. But that doesn't mean that I cannot, okay? Just don't, observe, don't absorb, okay? Observe, don't absorb. Become the witness, not the victim. Nisawa. When you know what you're doing, you're powerful. Now, so the ahu here, that cannot mix with salt. So that becomes the water. Okay? So the mehomo, that goes to the air. Okay? It goes up. And what goes up has to go down. And the water trickles down. Okay? So streams to go and create the Victoria. That's now the water. And that water is after the has settled. It settles. When it settles now, it becomes that fresh water lake. Sawa sawa. AKA, there was that time there was no rivers. Ama there's creation of rivers. Because in the beginning, I never heard of rivers. So there was a time there were no rivers. But there was waters. So when you tell me thigarogote mbogo rũĩ-rĩ, nĩ nguona mbogo rũĩ kweri, tondũ gũkĩndĩ gũtarĩ rũĩ. Imekuguza hiyo, si ndio? Uko na mbogo za rũĩ, si ndio? Uliokota kwa rũĩ, hiyo imekuguza, si ndio? You're like, oh shit, what is this now? Na iwo ndogotete. Na venye nimeokota mawe. Oh shit. Why did I tune into this life now? Oh my God. Now it's a beautiful thing because I'm here to remind you that wewe ndio kigongona. Everything you need is you, within you. Like when you walk your true authentic self, that's all you need. And it doesn't have to make sense to anyone. It doesn't have to make sense to, as long as it makes sense, the most sense you can make is to make sense to yourself. If it makes sense to you, that's it. Now, when you do you, purely 100% you do you, What will happen? Now we will see it in you. Now we can put it on you. We don't know who both obey. Tondu kigongona ni kieruta. Nduire ni ya kurekia. No atuika murekio, ni kurekio reketio we. AKA, you are now a saint. A saint no etagwo murekio. So wakona ma saint wao ni mari aria mareketio ukaigua maretwo Saint Constantine. Ukaigua Mother Teresa was a saint, ni kumurekia mamureketie. Ni mamureketie na magongona mao. So when you become the true authentic self, when you go to the within, when you start making sense to nobody else but yourself, then hidio nyene ni aukuonekanira na akurekie. You become murekio, a saint. Kigongona giticiaragwo ni kurekio kirekagio. Mwana ukaga na mbogo kuma kwi nduire asigwete no akwira ukarogote ciaku rũĩ. Kigongona giticiaragwo ni kurekio kirekagio. Mbura ndiuraga ni kurekio irekagio. Ukaigua mbura ũmũthĩ ni yarekererio. Ati we gĩthuri kĩnene turekerie mbura ikarekio. Mbura yarekio ikarekia ria. Ria rĩarekio rĩkarekia kĩro. Kĩro kĩarekio gĩkarekia itunda. Itunda rĩarekio rĩkarekia mbũgũ. Esoterically speaking, nĩ ikĩro, nĩ ikĩro, nĩ ikĩro, nĩ ikĩro, nĩ kĩro, nĩ kĩro. Atĩ irio ici ciĩna kĩro, ciĩna kĩro, nĩ ciratwĩra nĩ ikĩro, different frequencies. Hĩndĩ ĩyo gũtarĩ rũĩ, kwari ũgunyu, ũgunyu, ũgunyu. What do I mean? If I touch my girlfriend really nicely, so I have her nipple in my mouth, I'm sucking it deep into my hot horse mouth, and maybe on my other hand, I'm twerking her nipples, switching from kissing her nipples to her neck, breathing her pheromones, choking her, lifting her, kissing her ears, snaking my arm across her chest, over her soft belly, between her lips, the one between her legs, those lips, and I touch them, and she's wet. Okay? So she's turned on. Ucio niguo witagwo ũgunyu, ũgunyu. So you get dripping wet because you are turned on. But where did that water come from? Ũgunyu. So nĩ kũrĩ hĩndĩ gũtarĩ rũĩ. There was a time there was no rivers. No nĩ kwarĩ ũgunyu, ũgunyu. You can go to the riverbed, lift a stone and drink. That's a river now. Ask the elephants, they know. Elephants know where rivers are. So you can go without water because you think that's a river. You think river rũĩ nĩ maĩ. So you think because there's no maĩ, there's no river, there's nothing to drink. No, an elephant will beat you to the game. An elephant will go, dig its trunk, and drink to its fuel because now that's rũĩ. ni rũĩ. That's rũĩ now. Tondũ rũĩ ti maĩ. So when you're touching a woman, you turn her on. So you're grabbing her ass cheek, you're grabbing them really hard until you're spreading them apart. So you are lifting her. You are turning her on. She becomes wet. She's dripping wet. That's what I'm talking about. That is what you find now. That's roe. Roe ni roe. You know. If you know, you know. Now that's what is a river. That's even why when they talk of poetry, when I'm talking of sexual poetry, I talk of drinking from your river. When I'm sucking you between your lips, when I'm kissing the lips between your hips, and all that water now, that's roe. That is why they talk of drinking from her river, ogunyosio. But I'm not telling you to go and suck their pussy. Most of them, their smooth pussy smell like sardines. They have thrash every day. They have they eat bread every day. So every other week they are on what do we call that infection? Yeast infections. So don't drink from any river. Some of these rivers, they have piss, zimekojolewa, zingine zimeekwa chupa, zingine, they have allowed everybody to touch them. Don't just drink from any river. Unajua, roeti mai. Remember that. Roeti mai. Okay? Ngai atareketie mbura, Ngai ataurĩtie, Ngai atareketie mbura, ũgunyu waumaga na thĩ. So there are places that were green for no reason. It doesn't rain, what you call mbura kũrekio kuma igũrũ, but they are always green. Even though I walk through the valley and the shadow of the, I shall not lack. It's green, doesn't have to rain. You guys, you don't even understand the spiritual meaning of the Great Rift Valley. You have no idea what the Great Rift Valley represents. Like on Mother Earth, Gaia as her body parts and location. Like you don't even understand what the Great Rift Valley is. You don't even understand why now carbon credit has come to Great Rift Valley. Wanaambiwa waache kulisha ng'ombe kutembea so that now they can control it. You have no idea on the resources you are fighting about. You have no idea. You are easily distracted. The people are being abducted. No one gets abducted during the day. If you want to abduct people, you get them in their bed at night. You see movies. You are sleeping, chloroform. The next time you wake up, your hands are tied behind your back. Mbona unachora cartoon. Now that's abduction. Wacheni kubeba ufala nyinyi. Hii ni kufungwa macho, mnakuwa mmefungwa macho. These are games. These are distractions to the sheeple. Because you regurgitate, you eat everything. Umeona kwa news. Wacha nishie kavi. Umeona nobody is going to abduct you during the day with your plate numbers on. Na umetoka kwa street. Nani anaweza kubali kuhusiana? Those are distractions. The same way you are distracted the other time. At Nairobi is unsafe. People are going to beg. The same way you are distracted with Rongai lions. You go to Nairobi National Park, you inject lions, they sleep. Pick 4 lions, drop them in Rongai. Have someone pretend they are driving at night. Oh my God, spotted in Rongai. Don't know. Anyway, hold on. Chill. The moon is in Virgo. Okay? Chill. Don't get too demonic, okay? Chill. We are chill now. Back to the live. Ni sawa? Sawa. Okay. Back to the live. Someone is reporting my page, eh? Mna report page. Tuache kuongea maneno, eh? Ampendi hiyo, si ndio? Hiyo inauguza sana, si ndio? Mnataka kufinyia watu mbuzi, mnataka kufanya magongo, na hiyo inaingia sana, si ndio? Tuachane na hiyo ya kupeleka watu roho ati ni kuwaosha, eh? But simulionyeshwa, if you want to cleanse from the river, you were shown where to go and cleanse. Mkaonyeshwa hapa kando, hiyo si maji. Mkaambiwa if you want to cleanse, you have to go to the center of the river. Why the center? Todo mai mathiaga haria hethi. Mau nimo mai, mama agi ni Maria. Nyumba roho gwithahura na Maria. na mathugumo na sewage wetha hora andu we shut up. Okay, ugunyu waumaga na thi ukaigua those lands are green and it doesn't rain. Ugunyu ni mist, ukaigua Limuru, Tigoni Highlands, iyo mist, nonanga iyo mist, ugunyu, ucio niguo ugunyu, iyo mist, ugunyu. Okay, Limuru, si lazima kunyeshe everyday. Magena, ugunyu, ugunyu. Na hau ena kirima kirahiuha muno kiretwo Mount Longonot. Ukaigua Mount Longonot. Okay, Mount Longonot, ugunyu urauma na thi, mist. Riria wahiuhia kindu, when you hit something on a pan, you get mist. So Longonot Mountains na hizo mountains iko Rift Valley. We are talking about the Rift Valley. Rift Valley is very active volcanically. Niona hata hapa Naivasha kuna geothermal. Ukienda, I used to, my primary school when I was young, where I started, nilianza Kokoto Primary School. Iko huko Menengai, Njoro. Mahali kunaitwa Kabatini. Nilikuwa Kabatini Primary School. Kabatini Primary School, Nakuru. Sasa nilikuwa na hepa shule nikiwa primary, naenda huko kwa hizo mlima, hizo Kokoto walikuwa wanatoa Kokoto huko, hizo Menengai, nilikuwa naenda kwa hizo crater. They used to be very active. So when those craters na kina Longonot zina hit the sky, ugunyu, when that hit mist, we get the Greenlands, we get Tigoni, Limuru, because of that mist. Kijabe, that mist. Okay? So Kijabe ni kuguthiaga thano, Kivii. Okay? Na yo themitho ikuruka Limuru na kuria kungi. You get it? Ni sawa? Na you get no unajia kuona locations kuria andu maciirwo kamenya kuria mari. Kuga ati anga tumite Kirinyaga anga sijui na nduramenyania no kuigua iguaga. The mist in Kinangop, shout out to you. Iyo yote ugunyu. Okay, you get it? Nikio kwina mai, nikio Lake Naivasha ni fresh water lake. Mbanini kwa sababu ni breath ya daku ni ya Mount Kenya. Ugunyu ucio uga condense, igatuika fresh river. Koguo mauti mai Ruitiro we tojogu ni thie kanyua mai handu na hatiri ruwi keheria mahigo gwe ikia trunk kanyua tondu mai mathia haria hethi. We, hii ilikuwa maneno ya dreams. Huko tukire atia. Sasa unaona mlikata sasa ndio nauliza muulize maswali. Sasa woman taking men to the river. Mchezo wa town. Tidata maigirithitio guku atianga ki ma UTI usi zingine huku zimejaa ma UTI. Tuko leo rule of 9. Nasema nini daktari? Mwekea ginya Nutella. PlayStation 5 video game. Unaandika hivyo tunaonekana tuongea maneno ya game. Maneno hatufai kuongea hapa. Kuna hena wa iroto. I dreamt my late mom got birth in my house. I took her soiled clothes. Okay. I dreamt my late mom giving birth in my house. I took her soiled clothes, washed them all. So your mom is no longer with you. May she rest in peace. But you dreamt that your mother was giving birth in your house. Now, you see, she gave birth in your house. We are talking of feminine energy now. So your mother represents the feminine side. Okay, that's your maternal. Nirorira. Now, she's no longer with you. But you see her giving birth in your house, in your Bethlehem, in your Betha, in your second house. Okay? In your relating. And whatever she's giving birth, even though she's not here, you are relating to it, but you are taking her soiled clothes and washing them. So her, you see how you placed it, her soiled clothes. Otherwise they will not have come. So they are soiled, they are dirty. So it's a case of washing her dirty linen in public. So your mother may want you to clean her name. Maybe she was not a good woman and you have been pretending and telling people she did it. So she wants you to clean her name. So clean your mom's name. Tell everyone, my mom was a monster, but we loved her regardless because we cannot beat her up for whatever she did. My mom was a monster. She raised her like this, but now I'm a grown up, or I'm grown enough to know that this is not something she could have avoided. She was also going through some generational trauma or curses, or she couldn't have known better based on how she was raised. She was going through a lot. You get what I'm saying? So you clean her name. Ni sawa? Now do that njoki. Unaigua ginya yo ucoki, ona ndikuonete ritwa. Igua ginya hena gucoka. Hena njoki. Koguo ni gucokerera. Clean her name. We keep it going. Hapo tumetoka. In the ocean, we have gases, hence Somali Indian water wars. Nice. This water reason is big. We do not understand. Wagwang. Dream of going back to, okay, tulitoka huko, si ndio? Tulitoka huko. So let me see. Iyo dream about nilijipata kwa soko and found a lady weighing bake, nilikuwa nazunguka najipata iyo spot. Mchezo wa town. Iyo dream about nilijipata kwa soko and found a lady weighing bake, nikiwa nazunguka najipata iyo spot. One traveling in a flying train that it gets difficult connecting to the next one. We jipata kwa soko akapata. Okay, so now kuna zunguko najipata hapo. So tobacco, one way that tobacco was used, tobacco taps you into the spiritual side, okay? So when you understand about drugs, any drug that you inhale taps you into the spiritual side. Doesn't matter what kind. That is why when you smoke a cigarette for the first time, you get dizzy, okay? Or you feel lightheaded, or you something, okay? Or even when you smoke weed, or whatever you smoke, even when you do shisha. So now, there's no activity on my screen. Are you guys tapping the screen ama tumeanguka? Umesikia tumbo yangu? Lucifer is very active. So, tobacco taps you into the spiritual side. This is even how most of the this is even how most of the Native Indians convinced the Europeans to settle, sign peace treaties. So they got them high. Okay, they got them to smoke. So, wewe, in your dream, you are in a market. So in a market is a place where there's a lot of people coming together from all walks of life. There's trade going on. There's negotiations. There's bargaining system. Wacha kuona bargaining like nakupea 20 nikatie unipea 10. No, that's a whole spiritual system, a bargaining system. Okay. That's why you can hear people saying he bargained for his life. That's very powerful. Bargaining is very powerful. This is why the Arabs, you have to negotiate. For an Arab to sell you, if you don't negotiate, they don't sell you. You have to go back and forth because they understand what it means to have a bargaining kind of in the spiritual. Anyway, so you found a lady weighing bake na ulikuwa unajipata hiyo sport sana. So look at it like this. So this lady that is weighing bake, so this is a feeling, this is a lady, this is a feeling that you have. And this feeling, you are you are limiting, or you want to connect to it on a higher level. This feeling, you want to connect it to a higher level with yourself, yeah? Okay? And so you are spending too much time with this feeling. Okay, look at it like this. So there's this feeling that you have that you want to take it to the next level. But you are wasting too much time thinking of the outcome, or thinking of what you want to put in before the outcome. Because truly, really, you don't even need to be weighing tobacco, because you have already been weighing tobacco. You know this is enough. So this lady weighing enough, this feeling that you're attached to, that you are procrastinating on, trying to put weights and measures on, trying to put amounts to, is weighing you down. So you are stuck in a spot. You are lost in one spot. There's a decision you're supposed to make that concerns your feeling that you have, that concerns something that for you has monetary value. That's where in the market, or take you to another place that you are wasting time and you are not looking into. So you need to make a decision. Sawa? Okay. There's another one here. Traveling dream in a flying train that it gets difficult connecting to the next one. You are in a flying train that it gets difficult connecting to the next one. Connect to the next train or connect to the next station. Which is which now? I have no idea. So your plane is flying, beautiful train flying with wings, whatever it's flying with, but it's not connecting to the next train or to the next station. Or what do you mean? Or are you the one who cannot connect to you cannot get out of that train to join the next one? Or which is which one? Which is which now? Make it make sense now. Okay, make it make sense a little bit. Connecting to the next train, a very regular dream. So getting out of that train to jump into another one. Dream ya matatu hakuna kitu imebeba hiyo. Because that is something that occurs every day. Everybody is in a overloaded matatu and they always get home safely. You have not been in an overloaded matatu once. Everybody in one way or another shape or form has been in an overloaded matatu and they have always gotten to their destination. Because we also have matatus that have no passengers that don't get to their destination. We have matatus that are not overloaded, ni shuttle, kila mtu amefunga mshipi, and they still don't get to their destination. So overloading and destination has got nothing to do with your dream. That's a synthetic thought of this world that matatu crashed because of overloading. No, it didn't because of overloading. Shut up. Others should have made a matatu with a meter. Once it get beyond this, please get off, the same way you do with lifts. Mwacha kutubeba ufala. The same way you do na weighbridge. Gari ingekuanga na mahali watu wakizidi na kataa guguruma wanashuka. So that has got nothing to do with accidents. Let's think before anything else. Think. If they didn't want people to be overloaded, that would not be an option. But we need people to be overloaded because there's a whole system where people benefit from that, aka fines in courts. You get it? Police. That's a whole system created. Ujuange hivyo. Otherwise, hakuna reason ya kuingia lift na kuambia haiwezi enda mpaka mpunguze. Kama lift inakataa kuenda, mbona gari isifanywe hivyo? Which is more, gari ama lift? Gari. Which is more expensive? Gari, of course. Lift haijafikisha millions. But you have cars worth 40 million na bado ina crash na unakufa. Kumbavu zako na Range Rover. You understand how the world works. So your dream has no meaning. Hiyo ni dream ya kawaida. Hiyo si dream. Hiyo ni imagination. Umeona too many news za accident, za sarga. Umezoea kuforwardiwa kwa hizi WhatsApp groups zinashinda zikionyeshana accident. Now that's what's on your mind. Get that thought out of your mind. Hata ufai kufikiria ati ikiwa overall safika safe. That should not even be something. Once you become aware that there's nothing you can do to be safe because things are not meant to be safe on purpose, then hakuna freedom ingine inakuanga imepita hiyo, because you never find yourself in an accident. You never find yourself in those places because they don't exist in your world, because you already know this has been created. This could have been prevented, but it is not being prevented. It is being allowed. So you understand that there's minds in this world that allow that. Otherwise, insurance itatoka wapi? Someone gets rich out of insurance. Why do you need insurance? But you don't think. Tungetengeneza hiyo pesa yote insurance, tungetengeneza barabara mbili, moja ya kuenda hivi na moja ya kuenda hivi, au ziguzani. Hiyo pesa yote tungecombine, gari hazingekuwa zinaguzana, zingekuwa zikienda kugongana zinatokeana kama magnets, ama zinapeana warning, zinaweka emergency brake themselves. Kama tunatengeneza airbag millisecond, tungetengeneza gari ziko na airbag, si yako ndani gari zikienda kugongana airbag, pu kwa nje pa tatulia. But we don't. Okay, that's a world that's allowed to be like that. It's a synthetic world, nakwambia. Hiyo inaitangwa world view. There are people who want you to view the world like that because there's money there, there's insurance, there's fraud, there's lawyers, there's mindsets. Inaitangwa akina Jacob, there's Job, there's John, there's Johannism. Okay, there's Abrahamic there, there's Jonah there. All those are mindsets. We also create our own minds. But when you look at their minds, their minds are pana. That's why we have other minds here now. Okay? So anyway, shout out to everyone in the space. We can end the live. Each one teach one. Now you know. Hii maneno kushinda ukisema tusokie rũĩ mũkaro kamba waikaro kwa ito tu tusokie rũĩ mũkaro tari rũĩ turarũmĩrĩra ũkaigua andũ mathi rũĩ hau no he rũĩ ina rũigua nginya hena handũ hena gĩthima no ũnyue gĩthima kina maĩ, gĩthima kina maĩ, mũkenja gĩthima maĩ mau mahana atĩa mena cumbĩ, mũkenja gĩthima matirĩ cumbĩ, koguo nĩ muona maĩ, nĩ muona rũĩ harĩa rũĩ rũgerete, aka Inundiri. There are so many boreholes that tap into that water. Their water they can sell from the borehole to the bottle. Hawa nakuanga metap rũĩ. Okay? Rũĩ ama maĩ makao matapĩte maĩ mĩhũmũ, that breath. You get it? So ukienda Indian Ocean ujuange ni mali ũrethamba namo, ũrethamba na accumulation and all other things, which is okay still. So ukitoka kwa ocean nenda upige shower, which again bado ni maji tu, ulale, unajua ni sawa tu, it's okay. You can swim in those dirty waters. No menya no kuri maĩ, okay? No menya rũĩtirwo maĩ, sawa. Koguo no yurie, should I go to Naivasha geothermal because that is mihomo? Should I go and take a dip there? Oh my God, what have I been missing? Oh my God, I'm going to wethamba na ira. Go Naivasha geothermal, nathi wethamba na ira in the liquid form. As witchcraft in your hand, you becoming the alchemist and transmuting that, and maybe that is the dip that you need to take. Ni sawa sawa. Awenda guthiruka kirima niguo nduhithi gathiruke kirima thii urire Mr. Kamitha thii mugathiruke kirima ndindari na mbui ndio mbui ni mundu mugi mbui ni ugi thithi gwethi rumire Kamitha mukarinyuke kirima murinyuke ya mobi.com muthi murinyuke kirima muthi clockwise, even the direction you are taking. Muthaka, be serious. Calm down. I got nothing but love for you, baby. Leo ni love and appreciation. Ni sawa. Tulete za upendo. Hatuna maneno mingi. Sisi tunataka watu wapendane. Okay? Sisi tunapenda watu wajuane. Okay? Yesterday you mentioned something with the layer lines. Hiyo ni maneno ya siku ingine ya layer lines. Unaweza Google hizo, ingia Google andike layer lines. Layer lines. Sa Kenya wajaweka sana, si lazima hawezi kuwa ameweka. Waiwa, hii ya huku waweke wapi? Hapana, hawezi weka hapa. Lakini naweza kupea example. What can I do but say you are welcome? Maui, Hawaii. Hizo ni layer lines. California ni heart chakra ya Amerika. Hizo ni layer lines za Amerika za heart. Ni huko kulichomeka juzi. So angalia moto kwenye nachomanga. Unajua hizo ni layer line gani? Sasa kuja za Kenya. Ama utumie map. Sio mjanja, tumia atlas. Tumia map. Tulifunzwa high school, tulifunzwa topographical map. Angalia tena nimekuambia ni wapi chini na ni wapi juu. Sasa angalia kwenye kulichomeka kulikuwa juu ama chini. Usijiulize, angalia kama kuna mito. Wako na rivers. Wanatoanga maji yao wapi? Ati maji yao ilikuwa imeonorio yote. Maji yao kukichomeka ilikuwa imeonorio like 4 weeks before. Makonoria, do you know how long it takes to empty that dam? Mai mari monorie. Wasoka kwa hea. Wewe, atiriri. What a coincidence. Jigwa mweko yakiwa gutire coincidence. Nigugaga. No ni kwirwo yugaga, there's nothing like a coincidence. Ago ni kuga atia. Eno nĩ thĩ. Nairobi University ĩrenda kũhĩa. Yaheire kĩrathi kĩmwe igĩrĩ. No mambire gwakia kamwaki kĩgongona-inĩ kĩao. Atĩa? Kamwaki ta ka njino, ka example. Kĩtũikaraga kũ? Gũkũ. Njikaraga Kĩrĩnyaga. Ndĩ wa Kĩrĩnyaga. No Kĩrĩnyaga nĩ gĩkĩrĩ point nyingĩ. Rĩu ndĩ Kĩrĩnyaga nguhĩrĩirie mwena ũyũ hakuhĩ na Kĩrĩmara. Kĩrĩnyaga na Kĩrĩmara. Na kĩngĩ na kĩrĩma kĩrĩ Njaro. Haiya ndĩciandĩke. Nĩ ũgũciandĩka? Mũtambũrũko wa Nyandarũa. Karĩmatura na Ngong'u. Ciĩtagwo atĩa icio? Ciĩtagwo hills. Hills and valleys. Rwenzori mountains. No mũrandĩka? Si mũtikwandĩka i? Icio nĩ cia mũthenya ũngĩ wa Muthaka nĩguo? Sawa. Shout out to everyone in the space. Each one teach one. I saw mifugo imeanza kugojeka na kufa ndio they now praise the vaccine. It's a calamity. Yes. Ulisikia Mutahi Kagwe, if you continue to behave abnormally, umesikia amerudishwa kazi. Unasikia Mutahi Kagwe ameitwa. Mutahi, uka. Nakumbuka ile wakati ngine ulifanya kazi mzuri sana ya kufungia watu mapema, si ndio? Uka. Karibia hapa kuna maneno ya ng'ombe, lakini kwanza kuja ukiongea hivi, lakini si unajua kasi. Si unapenda magari kubwa. Si unapenda kujiona kwa TV. Si unapenda kazi. Si unapenda kujenga. Tujenge. Takupea gari, takupea mshahara, takupea nguvu, takupea askari. Si unapenda hivyo? Kuja wewe. Mutahi. Uko tutahire. Nina bena gututahira uka ikara haha mutahi. Utahage uria turakwira. Neguo? Do have a beautiful day. Friday. Mehomo. It's gonna be a beautiful day. I love you all, guys. Okay? Truly, deeply, I love you. Because you complete me. You make me, I make you. But you're not like me, I'm not like you. But we do each other. Ni sawa? So, love you. That's all I can say. Do have a beautiful one. Ciao, ciao. What can I do but say you're welcome? You're welcome. And thank you.